What's the best bread to eat? Huh? For if you have IBS, Crohn's, or colitis. My name's Mike the Healer Gut Guy, and I fixed myself with these conditions. If you want to know everything I did to get better, go down below and sign up for my webinar. One of the first foods I started to avoid on my journey was bread. Before I started reading Grain Brain and all these books that demonize the body of Christ, yes, this is referred to as the body of Christ in the Bible. The other day I was talking to a woman, she was Ukrainian, and the top of the Ukrainian flag is blue. The bottom of it is gold. And the gold stands for fields of golden wheat. And then, they're also Christian. And then she was going, "Oh, I'm allergic to gluten." You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to take my loaf of bread that I have and turn it into a nunchuck and slap them over the head. Your country wouldn't exist without wheat. You wouldn't be, the human race wouldn't be on this planet without wheat and other grains. If somebody wasn't eating wheat, they were eating some sort of other grass seed. And then they would take the stalks and then they would make clothes and baskets and roofs. Most people don't even know what this is. They say, "Oh, I'm gluten intolerant. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm going to eat oats." Oats is grass seed. It's almost the same thing. So before I get into the nitty-gritty, the nerdy details on like what bread is, let's make this simple really quick. If you go to the grocery store, what's the best bread you can buy? So we got the standard white loaf of bread right here. Okay. And so this is a whole, there's people who make 30 minutes videos on it. This is almost as complicated as making a nuclear bomb. I might be exaggerating there, but this is a science to make the bread soft the way that it is. There is a bran. It is the outer shell that protects the seed. This is made up of maybe not thousands, but hundreds of tiny grass seeds. Now, when you go out into the field and you look at the grass, you can't see these seeds on the stalk because they weren't bred to stay on the stalk. They just get shot out into the field to grow more grass. But at some point, there's a certain breed of wheat and other grasses where it holds onto the seeds so that when we go to harvest it, we can eat it later. This, you can actually see it right here. There's an outer covering, you don't eat that, but underneath that there's a bran. That's where most of the fiber is. And then there's the germ. The germ is what germinates into a grass seed. And then you have the endosperm, which is the white stuff that you see here. It's where the starch is. That gives the germ the energy and the nutrients to grow into grass. That's how this works. You're eating the most nutrient-dense part of the grass when you eat grass seeds. This is just grass seeds. So white bread has had a lot of the nutrients taken out because they take out the bran and they take out the germ. But in America, I'm not sure if they do this in other countries, but in America, they try to put some of the nutrients back in and they call it enriched wheat. I would argue that it's better to have these synthetic. I'm always going to put natural first, but having the synthetic vitamins, the fake vitamins in here is much better than just having it be white bread. And it was risen with, I don't want to say artificial yeast, but I think that's the best term to use. It's just baker's yeast. And it rose really fast, it rose in a few hours. To get the bread to rise, you have to let the bacteria eat the sugars and break down the sugars, which creates gas and makes the bread rise. This loaf of bread right here is sourdough, ancient grain. I think it's made with spelt and rye and sea salt. And then it used an organic starter. It used a traditional starter. So what do you do to make bread? You mix water, You mix the wheat flour, and now this has the whole, they took the whole berry, the whole wheat berry, the bran, which has a lot of fiber and phosphorus, and some of the carnivore community, they're going to go, oh my God, it's not phosphorus, it's phytic acid. Phytic acid is phosphorus in storage form. Well, phosphorus isn't that important. After like water, the next most important nutrients are protein, which is nitrogen, and then phosphorus and calcium. So phosphorus is one of the most important nutrients for your body. So this is filled with phosphorus. This is filled with calcium. This is filled with glucose to power your body and to power this brain, which the holistic community desperately needs. They need their brain powered because they don't know the difference between oats and wheat. There's literally no difference. There's barely any difference. Besides, oats aren't that tasty. Which one's easier to digest? Which one's more nutritious, the white bread or this? This is harder to digest, even though it was sourdough. Maybe if you just put it in your mouth and you eat it, which one feels easier on your stomach? The white bread for sure. White bread for sure. This would probably even feel even easier on your stomach if this was sourdough white bread. And this is a very rare find. Most of the sourdough breads that you find nowadays, they're going to be white, or they're going to be a mixture of white and whole grain. Now this one looks like it was full whole grain. The bacteria, the starter, has a hard time breaking down the starches just because it's like more heavy. Having more bran in it makes it more heavy. And there's like less bubbles. It depends on the starters. There's a lot of factors. Baking bread is like an art and a science. But the main point I'm trying to get across to you guys in this, like if you want to eat the best bread possible, sourdough whole wheat made with heirloom grains, which could be kamut or spelt or whatever. Organic wheat, whatever. You're not allergic to gluten. You are, but it's in your head because your head controls everything that goes on in your body. Oh no, it doesn't. It reacts to it. If I was allergic, I rub this on my face. At some point, my brain has to say, okay, respond with inflammation on the face. Even if I get punched in the face, at some point, my brain has to respond with make this become inflamed. Make this side of his face become inflamed. If I didn't have a brain, it wouldn't become inflamed. It might become damaged, but it wouldn't become inflamed because inflammation is healing the damage. This, it's very easy for bread to become a conflict reminder. Your digestive issues started from a stressful event. You're supposed to eat bread 3 to 5 times a day. So there's a good chance that, it was in the background during the conflict. Or, for those people with colitis, they see blood in the toilet, and that is a very traumatic experience, and the brain is in a very malleable state. And then you go on YouTube while you're on the toilet, you're looking at your phone, and the first thing you hear about colitis is, oh, you got to avoid wheat. You got to avoid wheat. And you see blood in the toilet, you don't know what to do. Wheat's the devil. That's how this happens. I've seen people turn off their gluten allergies and literally just like that when they wake up. When they wake up and they smell the toast. I don't know how you exist in Western culture without wheat. It is a miserable experience. I did it for a few years. It's pretty bad. It sucks. Every once in a while, I'll go to Trader Joe's or I'll go into Whole Foods and I'll accidentally buy something gluten-free and I'll almost choke to death when when it gets past. I'm like, what am I eating? Disgusting. It's disgusting. Don't eat that crap. It's embarrassing. You're better than that. You can eat wheat. I believe in you. You just have to, if it thinks something's poisonous, If your brain thinks something's bad for you and it gets inside you, what do you think your brain's going to tell your body to do? It's either going to tell you to puke it up or to crap it out. It's that simple. So don't be afraid of wheat. Even if it's this normal stuff, it's okay to eat. Yeah, it would be better for you to eat this. Whatever. It's your choice. This is healthier. This is doesn't have as much nutrients in it, but it's not causing your IBS, Crohn's, and colitis. It was caused by a conflict shock of what is something important to my survival that I cannot digest. Or if it's more colitis, it's like, what is crap that I want to get rid of, but I can't. Okay, the brain, I'll put that into overdrive. Sign up for my webinar if you haven't done so already, and I go over all the nerdy German new medicine details, how to heal your gut with German new medicine, like I did, eating whatever you want. I gained like 30 pounds in, I don't know, just like 2 months, and that was years and years of eating gluten-free and ancient grains and all that stuff. This little thing between my ears, between your ears, controls your whole body. Gut to gut's the second brain. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The holistic community has their head up their butt, man. All right, guys. What do you want me to make a video about next? Leave a comment down below. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.